Hey folks, how you doing? Welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy Deron Harris, the Deron Harris Podcast, episode 19. Wow, some things have changed since the last podcast. Well, yeah. The last podcast, there was a big change. In this podcast, there was an even bigger change. And we're here to kind of highlight that change a little bit today. But first, I want to ask, how's your mental health today? You know, are you good, man? Are you sure? If not, it's okay not to be good. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's okay not to be good. It's okay to go have a couple of minutes by yourself. It's all right. You know what I'm saying? But if you are doing well, then go around and spread some cheer to some people, man. Go around and you know, love on your homies, man. Go around and spread some positive vibes, bro, because that's what it's about here at the Deron Harris Podcast. I try and do some things that are going to be positive for people. I try and talk about things that are going to be positive or get people to think. So that's my goal here. But there's been some developments in my life that I feel that I need to kind of go over a little bit. Major developments. As you know, my wife and I, we've been talking about living an alternative lifestyle, and our I don't know, I guess our ambitions to travel and see the world. So we have purchased we purchased a Class A motorhome to live in full time. So, and last night was our very first night that we slept in this motherfucker. And we bought it used. It's a 2004 Winnebago Sightseer. It was immaculate. So and on top of that, we cleaned it to death. We cleaned it to death. We got in here and pulled out, you know, we put the blood of Jesus on this thing in here. So it was clean. So we had a really, you know, we brought our dogs with us. We dropped it off in the town that my mother lives in, and left it for about a week. And my mother came by and she checked on it. But the dogs stayed at home last time that we came here, so they had no idea what was about to occur and for how long. So we have a 178-pound Great Dane that is also living here with us, and we also have a 7-pound Chihuahua and like a 14-pound Shih Tzu Bichon living with us. So, yeah, it's pretty perilous. I'm going to talk more about that, but first I want to do some shout-outs. I want to shout out the dude who sold us the RV, man. His name was Lucas. We got it at Camping World. I want to shout Camping World out for providing us with this. And we bought this thing. It was called an as is, which means whatever is up with it is whatever is up with it. So, and we got some stories for that too. So, the sales guy Lucas, he was awesome. He was very knowledgeable. His brother also works for the same company, and they, you know, I guess, I mean, this guy, he struck me as Captain Clean Cut. You know, he was really, really nice guy. You know, like I said, he knew his thing, man. He knew it. You know, he sold us on it. Really, he did more than sell us on it. He assured us that we would not have a bad experience. He made us comfortable. He made us feel comfortable. You know, all the way. He didn't put he didn't. We actually pressured him. You know, he didn't pressure us at all. You know, in any question that we had, he knew everything about the motorhome. You know, even though it had just come on the lot. He knew everything about it, or, you know, most things about it. And whatever he didn't know, he went and found out, like, instantaneously. And he kept in constant contact with us. And we did with him also. And we ended up purchasing it from us. And he gave us a call a few days later. And we missed the call, but we returned the call. And you know, he just wanted to make sure that everything was on the up and up with it. And, you know, we told him, you know, the stories that, you know, have already happened with it, because we've only had it for a week. And we had a good laugh about that. But I told him, I said, if I run into anybody who's looking for one, I'll definitely send them your way. So wanted to say thank you to Lucas, man, for hooking us up, man. Shout out to you, bro. All right, this week's Dope Shit Award. This week's Dope Shit Award go to me and my wife. And the reason why it goes to us this week, and I'd like to say thank you for my first ever nomination and recipient of the Dope Shit Award this week. And the reason why is because we took a significant step in changing our lifestyle and the way we do things, in general. I mean, our whole life has just changed, and it will change forever on the 15th of August. It's going to change forever because there will be no more ties to brick and mortar or sticks and bricks, as the people in the RVing community say. Currently, actually, I'm doing my podcast from an RV park. Shout out to also Casey Jones Campground in Lake City, Florida. I have some dealings here at this campground. I got one of my best friends in the world, who actually he has passed away now, but one of my best friends in the world his family used to own this place. So the gentleman that owns it now, he's very, very nice. Him and his son here do a lot of the work here. So I came in, and it was very easy to secure the space. Very, very quiet out here, and right off the interstate, close to everything. Still, I'm an exit away from most amenities that you would see any place else. But it is a very small town, and we are using this time to sit down and to get our things together and recoup and get our plan together. So that's what we're doing. And that's that for the Dope Shit Award. So I'm going to take a couple of seconds and try and pay some bills. And then when I come back, we're going to do some earbuds. This is the Darren Harris Podcast.
The tobacco industry uses flavors like menthol to hook kids on nicotine. Parents, know this. 1. 4 out of 5 kids who've used tobacco started with a flavored product. 2. Minty menthol makes toxic nicotine seem harmless. 3. Flavors like menthol allow addiction to happen fast. Protect kids from a lifetime of addiction. Go to flavorshookkids.org for more.
Hey folks, welcome back to the podcast. Wow, that was a little hot right there. Welcome back to the podcast. We are coming to you live from my new home, my Class A RV with my wife here in Lake City, Florida. And that's what it's going to be. I'm probably, I'll be here for a while, but eventually I'll be someplace else. And that's why we kind of got this thing. So what have I been listening to? I've been listening to a few different things this week. Not a whole lot, but I've been listening to a couple things. I heard the new Beyonce house song, and I think it's pretty dope, but that's not really what it was. But I've been listening to a lot of KRS-One. I've been like heavy on some KRS-One as of late, only because I've been seeing him in my YouTube. Not my YouTube, but my Facebook feeds and Instagram, where he'll pop up, dropping some jewels on some fools. And it's hard to not. And I think and he's got a new album out, which I really had no idea about. So I've been checking it out, and every song on there is classic KRS-One, the straight boom bap with these dropping jewels on fools, man. And if you're a younger cat, you may not dig it. You might be, who's this old dude? But I'm telling you what, man, this brother could do us some good, man. You should listen. A lot of the cats out here, I hate to say it, man, but the state of hip-hop today is just wild business, dude. It's crazy out there, man. Cats, they've always been getting shot, but, people just shooting up shit now just because it's cool, and that shit ain't cool, man. It's just never been cool. So hats off to cats like KROS and Chuck D and Public Enemy and groups like that really kind of highlighted positive hip hop, trying to better our people as opposed to strip and tear us down. But people are like, oh, I rap about what I see in the streets. That's cool and everything, but there's positive shit. I know you've had some laughs in the streets. I know it ain't been all murder, death, kill out in the streets. So I mean, come on, fellas. I challenge anybody who's listening to this podcast who's a hip hop artist, which maybe there's nobody, maybe there's somebody, maybe there's everybody. But I challenge y'all, man. Make a whole album of some enlightening hip hop, man, for our people. I challenge you guys to not give a damn about the record labels and the executives and selling records. Your people will buy the records, man. It's the execs telling y'all what sells to your own people, and they don't really know, man, because there's so many of us out here that are hungry, for some good, real music, man. That's why hats off to cats like Kendrick and J. Cole and even Anderson .Paak. Hats off to them dudes, man. Mick Jenkins. Hats off to these people, because they have a level of socially conscious hip hop. Yeah, it's hip hop, and it's hip hop for the masses, but it's also a little bit of hip hop in there for somebody who actually thinks about society a little bit deeper. So that's my earbuds. It's KRS-One. Check it out. I'm not sure what the name of the album is. I'll try and figure it out, and I will get it back to you guys maybe at the end of this episode or maybe a later episode. Or you can just go on Google and search it, KRS-One new music. All right? So that's the earbuds for this week. Moving right along to Strain of the Week. Strawberry Cough. I hadn't had a lot of chance to do, and I've had this before. But it wasn't flour. It was a vape pen. But I had flour before, a long time ago. And the Strawberry Cough, from what I can remember, makes you cough your ass off, but is very good. I didn't get it, like I said, an opportunity to really look up any of the stats of it on Leafly. But I do know, just from what I was able to feel, without having to kind of correspond with Leafly to validate what it took away a lot of anxiety because this week was very, very trying, because we were in here banging it out as far as us deciding to, because all of this transpired within 2 weeks. This whole move, are we going to re-sign our lease? Are we going to stay here? Are we going to give these people, $2,500 again this month? This whole thing, like I said, it was like bam, poof, like a lightning strike. We just went for a ride one day, and then a couple of days later decided that we was getting this motorhome. So, and I'm going to tell you what, a lot of people, man, you know what? I'm just going to save it. I'm going to save it for the main segment, because I want to finish with the Strawberry Cough. But I just want to say that it was, it helped a lot with the anxiety, man. I didn't have any anxiety. I wasn't like, oh man, maybe this ain't gonna. I didn't have any of that. I was very assertive. I made sure that I was very decisive about what I was gonna do. We planned very well. It was, it helped me think. It didn't knock me out. So, but it did make you cough a lot. But it was, like I said, it was the vape pen. But I do also remember the flour being that way also. So, Strain of the Week, Strawberry Cough. This is the Darren Harris Podcast. I'll be back in a minute. Hey folks, today's program is being brought to you by Your Pleasures Erotic Health and Wellness Boutique. Your Pleasures has a wide variety of adult educational materials, top-notch adult novelties and clothing, real-world dating and relationship advice, and more. Pleasures, that's Your Pleasures, not only focuses on erotic pleasure and satisfaction, we aim to educate people about the health and wellness benefits of intimacy. We are here to prove that sexuality is not naughty, it's necessary. So stop by Your Pleasures, that's ur-pleasures.com, and see for yourself. That's yourpleasures.com. Hey folks, welcome back to the podcast. It's your boy D. Today we're talking about my lifestyle change. Me and my wife, we changed our lifestyle. That's right. That's what's popping this week. We changed our lifestyle. We decided we were going to do something absolutely different that, was super unconventional, and we threw caution to the wind, and we bought an RV. We bought a Class A gas-powered Winnebago Sightseer 2004 model. And we bought it to travel full-time. And that's right. And we had a lot of questions. There's people who had a lot of questions for us. People have already asked, what made you want to do this? I guess that's the main, why are you guys doing this? And I guess the main answers are, or the main reasons are to travel, to learn some things. And for me, really, is to get back to basics, to try and scale things down because, as everyone knows, if you've listened to my podcast, I suffer from depression and anxiety, and they've upped my dosage because I suffer from depression and anxiety. But for me to do this is to get back to me, so that I can try and get rid of this depression. I can try and get rid of this anxiety. I've moved closer to my mother for a time and some family so that I have a little bit of support. And that's another reason that we did it, was to spend time with friends and family more. And like I said, I broke it all the way down to the small town that my mom lives in. I've gotten away from living in the cities, and for just this minute, just so that I can try and catch up with myself. And this that was one of the reasons that we did it, is so that we could actually catch up with ourselves, spiritually and mentally, and physically and emotionally, just catching up with yourself. So we, like I said, we thought about it for a long time, long couple of years, like a year and change, year and 8, 9, 10 months that we thought about this and had talked about this and talked about. It was either, like I said, it was either this or a boat that we could live on, but a boat boat definitely is more cost, and there is a huge learning curve there to having a sailboat. So we opted for the RV first, and so far so good. We have had we've had major discussions with other people about it, and people who've thought about doing it, and we've watched countless YouTube videos of people who do it, and the ins and outs and the ups and downs of RV life, and we have decided that we can do it, or we will at least give it the college try. So this is where we're at, and we wanted the freedom, definitely to travel more. And one of the main things is we wanted to buy a home, and we were just having problems, even though we were both in the workforce. And it was still hard because in the area of the country that we're in, people were just snatching up houses left and right, buying them cash and leaving nothing for us to buy. And we tried so hard to purchase a home, and we were not able to. So we decided to buy this RV so that we could save some money, like a conventional down payment, instead of using like an FHA or something like that. So to purchase a home. So we decided to purchase this RV, and already we've already begun to see the benefits. Instead of, like I said, paying the $2,400 a month rent where we were living, because they were going straight up on the rent. Our lease was up. Actually, our lease is up on the 15th of July, of August, which is the time we plan to be out, which we've already let them know we are not going to renew our lease, and we've made arrangements to be someplace else. And we've already cut our rent by more than half. The RV itself, I believe, is $450 a month because of the protections and the special package or whatever. And the RV park currently where we are staying is about $480 a month. So that is a far cry from $2,400 a month. Thank you very much. So no regrets there. People ask us other things, like, what about your stuff? What are you going to do with your stuff? Well, funny you should say that. My mom has a 10,000 square foot building, and she's said that we can keep some things there, but I don't want to keep too many things there. But we're probably gonna yard sale a lot of it. Bring it up here to the church. My mother's building is a church, by the way. We bring it up here to the church, and have a yard sale and sell some of our furniture as well, and whatever we can't sell, we'll donate. Just to kind of lighten up, and that's really what it is downsizing, getting rid of all of these things that we think that we need that honestly we don't. We slept in here. We slept in our RV last night for the very first time, and it was glorious, man. I can't lie. It was the air conditioner was cool. We're plugged in too. Plugged into water and sewer. We went to the bathroom. It was great. I do have some things that I need to figure out, like the propane and how to light the pilot, because currently, if we can take a shower. It's just cold. So, but I think that's a quick fix as far as the propane is concerned. So once I get that taken care of, we'll be able to take a shower in here and cook in here as well. So my mother is in worst case scenario, if all else fails, if the world is falling to pieces, my mother's not even a mile down the road from here. So. My dogs are here, and everybody is comfortable. Everybody's laid out. They slept well. Everybody had a good time. We walked out today. It was nice. The air was clean. There wasn't a lot of noise. It was peaceful. I let the dog off the leash, and she ran around and rolled around in the grass and didn't have to worry about, what was in the grass. So it was, it was good. It was good. It was peaceful to be here. It was very, very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very enriching to be here, and also I have some very good memories from this place where I'm at also. Like I said, my best friend and his family, one of my best friends and his family, they used to own this place, and it's very sad to find out that he has passed away, and both his parents have also passed away. But, I do have some very, very fond memories of the area, so I am happy to be here, and happy to be someplace where I feel safe and where I don't have so much anxiety. And, I have people that can help me cope and get through my depression. So people ask us, what about your pets? What are you going to do with your pets? Like I just said, they're not going nowhere. This is their house too. I couldn't leave them behind. I'm not going to give them up for adoption. We are going to pull up the carpet out of this son of a bitch, though, because, can't be tracking in mud or, dogs have accidents, and I just don't want a carpet that's, accident ridden in my house. So we're going to definitely look towards, like, we moved to this town and my mother knows everybody. She's like, oh, I got a guy I got a guy that does upholstery. I have a lady for the carpet cleaning. I got a guy for this, and now she's got a guy for us going to get some tires and brakes and shit like that. So shout out to my mother. She bought us all kinds of stuff. Like I said, we slept in here for the first time last night, and she came and she really kind of hooked it up for us. She's already given us so much to begin with, but she went and bought extra bedding and pillows and just made it so that we were very comfortable in here. And I do appreciate you, Mother, and thank you very much if you're listening to my podcast. So, what else? People also ask us what you gonna do for money? How you earn a living? Well, my wife is currently working, but we are trying to get her either to change jobs or for us to do something significant together, like continue our business, because we also sell soap and things of that nature, to continue our business on the road while we're doing this, to try and see if we can also become entrepreneurs. I am currently not working, but I just got to town, so I will be going into town, shaking the trees and see what's happening. I'm a bartender by trade, so I'm going to go see if I can go get a couple shifts behind the bar someplace and meet some people or meet some old friends, because like I graduated high school in this town, and that's one of the reasons I came here, because I have kind of a base here. So if I have any issues here, I got some support. So before we branch out and start, breaking down in the middle of Texas someplace. But I'm trying to also get my social media accounts, make more robust social media posts, and maybe earn some money through social media. So please listen to my podcast, and I will have another podcast here shortly with my wife called Everywhere with Yvonne and Deron. We keep talking about it. We keep teasing it. She's on my podcast, been on a few times now. I think it's time for us to maybe sit down and have our own podcast or our podcast together. So that will be in development. And also, like I said, my YouTube channel, because I want to chronicle what's going on here in this RV because, man, I'll tell you what, a black dude, a Latin chick, a Great Dane, and 2 other dogs, who wouldn't watch that? It's wild business in here. It was wild business in the apartment. It's going to be even wilder business in this RV. So, what else? I'm going to also try and produce and sell music. My family here is very musically inclined. So, this is where I learned about music. My choral director was here, and I knew a lot of my friends that were here were very musically inclined, and I look forward to getting back to that because that gave me a large sense of peace, is being able to produce music, but produce and participate in the whole learning of music, just being around music. This town was very integral to that. So I look forward to kind of getting back to that, to a degree. I really would like to make a solid ass living out of it, but I have to maintain focus, and I have to shake off some anxiety and some depression and some things, and that's one of the reasons that I don't finish beats is because of what I'm going through and the things I've been through. So hopefully this right here will make it so that I can finish some music, and I can advance, and I can do this, as opposed to I can't do it. So, and also we plan to, my wife now, she has a business also, and you're more than welcome to check it out, and I'm going to go ahead and give it a shout out. It's a commercial. It's a commercial that I recorded for her that might actually, that I cut for her. It's for her company. It's her company's called Your Pleasures. It's UR-Pleasures. UR-Pleasures.com. It is an adult health and wellness boutique. We sell a wide variety of adult stimulation products and also health and wellness products. So you're more than welcome to shoot over by there and support the cause if you want, and it's for a good cause, and also not for nothing, you'll benefit and get stuff out of it also. So definitely go over there and visit UR-Pleasures. That's yourpleasures.com. A little shameless self-promotion. But what else people ask us? They ask us, do you think that you will be happy? And my answer to that is, I don't know the future. I don't know. I'm not happy. I'm not unhappy thus far, in this lifestyle. I know that there's, hard road to hoe and tough things to come, but for right now, everything is everything. Everything feels like this is where I should be right now, as opposed to going out and looking for an apartment or, because it's, to me, things like that, it just represents confinement, and confinement to me represents depression. So I don't want to be depressed. I don't want to be confined. So this has given me a little bit of freedom, but also at the same time, it's given me a great amount of security. I feel secure in here. I feel secure in the fact that if all else fails, I can take it to my mother's 10,000 square foot building and, clean it and wash it down and, keep it there for a couple of days if I need to, or, whatever it is I need to do. So it is very convenient, and I'm not unhappy with it now so far. People ask us, where are you going to go? And the answer to that is absolutely everywhere, anywhere we can go. Save up the money, plan it out and go there and find out where we really want to be at, where we really want to buy a house at. Maybe it's not Florida, maybe it's not Chicago, maybe it's not New York, but maybe we have an avenue to go find it. This is an avenue for us to go and experience everything that this country has to offer. the good, the bad, the indifferent, everything. And then do it together. And that's really what it's about ultimately. For us anyway. For me anyway. You know, so. We've got a lot of reactions from people when we tell them that this is what that we're planning to do. And some of the reactions are, you guys are crazy. Yep, absolutely. 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 But what was working in my life before, what was working in our life, it just wasn't working. You know, we've been doing that. And I've been doing this and it's not working. So what do? You do something different. And that's exactly what we did. And that to me, I mean, we stepped out on a limb. I mean, like all the way out there, you know, and it's either sink or swim, you know, and we do it together. We are crazy, but I think that I don't think that this can't be done. I don't think that we're going to fail. I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be an absolute blast. Like I said, I know there's going to be hard times. It's a small space. We got 3 dogs. You know, it's a mechanical thing. Things go wrong. You know, there's a such thing as a poop tank, you know, so that's going to go wrong. I'm sure at some point I'm going to have to scoop out some shit out of here. So, but in that, it's nothing that has deterred me so far. You know, it's my home. We've had people also say that that's absolutely amazing that you guys have chosen to do this. That's amazing that you, and to those people I say thank you. I do say thank you because, you know, when it's a big step, you know, people have told us, good luck, man. I hope that you guys knock it out of the park. And we've gotten so many, you know, positive, affirmations from people and you know, great feedback, you know, but we have had some people, you know, that's, you know, you ain't gonna like it, you know, and try to hit us with the negative. There's racist people out here on the road, and it's dangerous out there, and I'm sure it is. I'm sure it's super dangerous. I'm sure there's super racist people out here, and, you know, I'll take that as it comes. You know what I'm saying? As far as protection, right now we have a, you know, 178-pound Great Dane in the cab with us, but we do plan to get some things. This is the United States of America, and you know, we plan to, you know, get ourselves some protection for our RV and pray that we don't have to use it, but, you know, won't be afraid to if necessary to protect my family. You know, there's some things that we do have to understand, that this is not an actual house. You know, it's an RV, so, you know, there are some things to RVs that actual houses have that RVs don't have, like actual real walls and things of that nature. So, you know, safety is first and foremost, and people talk about boondocking and shit like that, and we're not about that life, at least not yet. You know what I mean? I got to get the generator serviced and figure out, you know, maybe go for a trip for a couple of days down the street, you know what I'm saying? Maybe boondock for the night someplace, turn around and come back. You know, charge a generator. But for right now, we're going to keep it close to full hookups at the campgrounds that we can find. And there's some pretty great campgrounds. We've been looking also at RV properties for sale, like RV lots that are for sale that we could put it in permanently. And also in the state of Florida, you can live in your RV on your property legally as long as you have full hookups. That means water, power, and sewer. So you can live in your RV. And I've seen a little bit of land out here for nothing where I could just be out here with my dogs and my family and you know, find a decent enough job or whatever and try and, you know, mend myself. So, you know, we've done a lot of research. You know, we've watched a gajillion YouTube videos. You know, my friend Ron that used to own this campground, he and I, we lived in his, he had an RV for a while. We lived in it for about a good year together. And, man, he showed me so much about it. And it was old. It was an older Winnebago. And he showed me so much about it. And he showed me a lot of Florida, man. He took me around when I didn't know anything about Florida. He took me around and showed me little, you know, all kinds of little cubby holes to, you know, hang out and go swimming and fishing and, you know, just you know, a lot of beautiful scenery, just, you know, places to go get, you know, just to go get enlightened, go get closer to yourself. You know what I mean? So, You know what I mean? I'm back at that, you know, because I do remember that being a very positive time in my life, even though there were some negative things going on. I do remember that time being very positive. So, you know, I look forward to getting back to, you know, a lot of that. You know, we want to get a little boat to keep in my mom's yard so we can float down one of the rivers one day, you know what I mean? Just to kind of get away and keep ourselves grounded in nature and grounded, you know, just grounded, period. So people ask me about if they think it would be right for them. And I mean, that's honestly within you. You know, if you know, I have a friend that's going through something, and she is needing to find a place. And she's having some issues with her family, and, you know, it is what it is. You know, I don't want to get too far into that, but I had suggested to her that she would be a good candidate for something like this, you know, because, you know, she's by herself a lot. You know, she has friends, but she chooses to be alone a lot. And something like this, she's a photographer, so she would be able to travel around and shoot photos and do some things that would benefit her as well. So I had suggested it to her, and then she had got back to me and asked me, oh, well, where is that place that you said about the RVs? And so, you know, she did give it some thought. And it ain't for everybody. It's not going to be for everybody because, you know, it ain't for everybody. But maybe it is. Maybe it should be. Maybe people should start getting out a little bit more, you know, getting back to some fresh air, you know, caring about the environment a little bit. I don't mean to seem like a tree hugger, but damn, y'all, it's hot this summer. And the reason it's hot this summer is because there's a lot of bullshit going on the earth, man. So I want to get out here and see it before it's all gone, or before it's all blown up, or we can't breathe the air, or whatever the fuck's happening here on the planet. So I think that's going to do it for what's popping this week. I'm still going to continue to talk about it. The next few podcasts might be about this because, like I said, man, it is something that's brand new. I'll definitely have some more stories for you next week. Yeah, because, I mean, I didn't really tell you guys, but this motherfucker broke down as soon as we got it. We drove it off the lot. We got it to a destination, shut it off, and then it wouldn't shut back on. But I did not panic, and that's why the strawberry cough, man, because I didn't panic. Even though all that shit was going down, something was like, be cool, D, because not for nothing what's going on is not really that serious. And it wasn't. It turned out to be a dead battery. And we got a battery, put it in here, and it fired right up. Bam. Everything's running. Everything. It ran like a dream. I drove it 3 hours. I drove it for 3 hours straight, 4 hours straight, from where we purchased it from all the way to my mother's house. And it ran like a dream. The gas mileage was great. I'd had no complaints with it. And yeah, man, I got a Class A RV with my wife. We're going to have a good life. I think so. So. All right, folks, I think that's going to do it for this week. Give me a few minutes and I'll come back with relationship goals. This is the Darren Harris Podcast. Hey, folks, welcome back to the Darren Harris Podcast. All right, I got one more segment and then I am done with this week's podcast. Relationship goals. What are this week's relationship goals? I can't remember what the last relationship goals were. I think it was to have fun and be spontaneous. I think that was, and I think we've been doing that. We've had some spontaneity. We changed up the lifestyle, if you have not heard, or if this is the only segment you choose to tune in to listen to. We have changed our whole lifestyle. So in that, we are going to be closer together in a smaller space. It's kind of like tiny home living, but we have vowed to become more spiritual with each other. Seek more spirituality. I'm not saying go out and be like, this, oh, thee, thou, though. I'm not saying that, but just to seek more spirituality, to connect with each other on a spiritual level, not just a physical or a emotional or mental, a spiritual level, because there's a lot to be said about that also, is connecting with your partner on a spiritual level. You know, my mother's a preacher. You know, I mean, my grandfather on my father's side built a church with his two hands. You know, he was also a pastor. And, you know, I mean, I have, you know, my family is very, very religious, very Christian-based, you know, religious family. And very spiritual. And, you know, they're always so happy and so optimistic, you know, and it is, I credit that to their spirituality. So this week's goal is to try and find more spirituality with my mate and try and connect better on that level, and other people also, and with myself. Most importantly, with myself, is connect spiritually with myself. You know what I'm saying? And try and free myself, because I think that has a lot to do with peace of mind. Is spirituality, is being able to, you know, get out of your own head for a while, so to speak. You know, get into your soul for a while. You know, replenish and nourish your soul. So that is this week's relationship goal. So I will let you guys know how that is going on next week. And like I said, it's all going to be ongoing. You know, it's gonna be ongoing, and so far so good. Hey, babe.
Yes?
How you like being married so far?
I love it.
You like being married?
Yes.
Say it out loud, girl.
I love it.
Okay.
I love being married.
Oh, cool. See, I'm doing a good job. Oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. To me, she said. Love being married to me. So far, how have the relationship goals been going?
They've been going good.
Okay, there it is. The relationship goals have been going good. Ta-da. So, I want to make them continue to go, you know, I want it to go well for the rest of our lives. So, all right, folks, I think that's going to do it for this episode of the Darren Harris Podcast, episode 19. What the fuck do we do now? And, yeah, so tune back in next week when I may have changed the poop tank. Okay, folks, thank you very much for tuning in, and I love you all. I'd like to thank my wife. I'd also like to thank my best friend and producer, and also my producer for making my podcast possible. And you know what? I'm just going to start saying their names. How about that? I never say their names. I always say my best friend and my producer. I'm going to start saying their names. I'd like to thank my best friend, Jesse Yandel. I'd like to thank my producer, Gentry Thomas, for giving me the opportunity to do my podcast for you folks. And I would, of course, always like to thank you guys for tuning in to the Darren Harris Podcast. It really means a lot. It helps me out so much that I'm able to sit and really kind of talk things out with people, because even though you guys, I can't see you guys and you guys don't really necessarily respond, it really means a lot for me to be able to sit here and talk things out and get through these things, because it actually does help me in my mental state. So in that, I want to thank you all for listening and giving me this opportunity. So anything else? No, I think that's going to do it for this week. All right, folks, tune in next week. This is the Darren Harris Podcast. Peace.